gender diverse people murdered due to anti-transgender violence. It is important to continue raising awareness and advancing advocacy around the issues of prejudice, discrimination, and violence that transgender and gender diverse people face.
As we see every year, sadly, there's no end to anti-transgender violence. Transgender and gender diverse people, Black and brown trans women, to be attacked and murdered because of discrimination and ignorance. Anti-transgender violence is directed at adults, but also youth. Let us remember their lives and the revolutionary presence they brought to this world.
To us LGBTQIA+ organizations, governments, entities, and communities hold space annually for Transgender Day of Remembrance. UTOPIA Washington would love to show appreciation to our Riverside leader for this opportunity to be here and honor the transgender lives people from us who got taken away too soon this year. You can honor and lift up the memory of our transgender siblings from anywhere you may be.
There are so many ways to honor the memories of transgender and gender diverse people. You can visit your local TUS LGBTQIA+ center and take part in any events, or spread the word by sharing Trans Day or Remembrance and share articles about it. You can also donate to groups working towards transgender justice.
Lastly, we can educate ourselves on issues that impact transgender people and share that knowledge with our families, close friends, and anyone we interact with to create awareness and foster an inclusive and supportive community.
Good evening. Thank you so much to Utopia for having us. My name is Kaylee Alicia Bolmy. I am the Artistic Director of STANCE, and we are STANCE. On social media, you can find us at stanceseattle.org. We'll be singing two pieces for you tonight. The first piece we'll sing is called The Road Home. It is a beautiful arrangement by Stephen Paulus of a 19th century folk tune with lyrics by Michael Dennis Brown that evoke hope and belonging. I particularly love the line towards the end of the piece, "There is no such beauty as where you belong." This piece will feature Basil Freeling as a soprano and soloist. The second piece will be Our Phoenix by Maria Isabel Valverde. She's a trans female composer, and she has set the words of a poem by a queer two-spirit poet named Amir Rabia. This piece will feature Mike Prince as our piano accompanist and Andy Chappell as our trumpet player. And in the composer's words, this work is undoubtedly a lamentation, an outcry, and a rousing to a movement for equality. We must demand more from ourselves, for ourselves, and for those who follow us. Let us then be like the phoenix and rise.
Tell me where is the road On November 3rd, Governor Inslee issued a proclamation in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance here in Washington. It states, Whereas Washington State has a long-standing tradition of upholding the dignity of the individual, equal treatment for all people regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity and expression, and ensuring the acts of discrimination and hatred will not be tolerated. And whereas members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, two-spirit, and intersex communities contribute to our state's success and strength in immeasurable ways. And whereas members of the transgender community contribute to the growing diversity and prosperity of our state. And whereas transgender persons, particularly transgender people of color, continue to face high levels of discrimination, stigma, and bias, and can feel abuse and violence against this community. And whereas Washington State embraces all persons, and Washingtonians uphold our shared values of dignity, equality, and fair treatment for everyone by ensuring that the acts of violence towards transgender persons is not tolerated. And whereas Transgender Day of Remembrance helps bring public awareness to anti-transgender hate crimes and honor the memories of those hurt and killed by acts of anti-transgender violence each year. And whereas Washingtonians are encouraged to observe this day and to honor the lives we have lost because of senseless violence against transgender people as we move together in the promotion of acceptance and understanding. Now therefore, I, Jay Inslee, Governor of the State of Washington, do hereby proclaim November 20th, 2022 as the Transgender Day of Remembrance in Washington. And I urge you all Washingtonians to join me in this special observance. This was signed by Governor Inslee. In case you might be wondering who this person is that's standing in front of you all, my name is Adriana Suluai, and here at Utopia, Washington, I serve as our program manager for our Sex Workers Empowerment Initiative. For the last couple of years, Utopia, Washington continues to hold space and raise awareness all year round, but even more so during our Trans Awareness Week, which leads up to today, Transgender Day of Remembrance. TDOR is observed annually by the LGBTQ communities across the world. It is the day that we honor the lives, the memories of community that have been lost to transphobia and products of systems that continue to oppress and strip basic human rights from our transgender community. With the overturning of Roe versus Wade, we are at a critical point that we have to stand together as a community to ensure that all our hard work so far remains accessible to all our community. We live in times more sensitive than ever to trans-based violence. The deaths of those based on anti-transgender hatred or prejudice are still largely ignored. Over the last decade, more than one person per month has died due to the transgender-based hate or prejudice, regardless of any other factors in their life. They were someone who loved and was loved, a part of the community, someone who had a family, someone who took care of loved ones, but more importantly, they were another person who planned on living their life to the fullest. These ill-informed, biased social norms are some of the lead causes that contributes to the murders and killings of trans communities. The onslaught of systems of oppression and harmful attacks on trans people, particularly our youth, targets our fundamental human rights as people. However, we are a resilient community. We will continue to be our unapologetic selves so we can continue to thrive despite all the hate. Utopia Washington will continue to hold space to observe Trans Awareness Week leading up to TDOR to ensure that we continue to bring attention to the continued violence endured by our community. It is with hope that when we stand together, we can end such violence and intolerance. Our hearts continue to break hearing these stories about the people and the wonderful lives that they lived. However, we will continue with work to ensure that we push back on all forms of oppression and violence that contribute to the harm against our community. We strive on ensuring the ecosystems of care that we create encompasses a cultural aligned lens that our communities are kept safe so that we can continue to thrive. Let us not forget, systems created by the community can only ensure the safety of the community. Today, I leave you all with a promise, a vow, and a pledge with the best of our capabilities, of course, to our trans and gender diverse siblings throughout the state of Washington. A promise that we at Utopia Washington will always create a safe haven where all members of our community are welcome. That regardless of your circumstances, your path, or your doubts, there will always be a place for you here to rest. A haven where all youth will continue to feel empowered, that we will be at the forefront for all challenges and aggressors who seek to devalue your identity. A vow that we will stand before you all, certain of one thing, that you are no mere stranger to us. That when your flame starts to wane, we will stand by you in power, in love, and always in solidarity. And finally, a pledge that as a trans-led organization, we will continue to raise awareness to address and uproot causes of the continued harm that our community faces. Advocate for equal access to housing, health, and education. Speak up against injustice affecting our community. Advocate for the use of trans-inclusive languages and practices. And that we will always continue to say their name. That our fallen trans siblings are to be remembered by the lives they lived and not how they departed. Today and every day, we call on everyone to join the fight. Do not just talk about the stories of the murders of trans lives, but implement strategies and positive narratives to fuel the shift of policy and equal human rights for trans people. Continue to echo the voices of trans communities and shift social norms by educating all those around you. Trans rights are human rights. You can show your support by making a contribution, whether it be in the form of a monetary donation, in-kind donation, or volunteering your time with trans-led organizations who address the needs of some of the most marginalized communities. Together, and I mean all of us, every single person in this room, we can truly end all forms of violence, especially those that affects the lives and basic human rights of trans communities. Thank you very much for allowing me to
Thank you so much, Adriana, for that empowering statement.
Here in the dark, I stand before you, knowing this
with me till the end. This experience too painful to talk about. Hold it in tonight and be brave enough to love again. A place and time still belongs to us. Stays in my mood, and the memories there are
Thank you so much, Faith. Nikai David, age 33. A friend of Nikai remembered her as being really sweet. She was a happy, fun person.
Martina Caldera, age 33. Martina was a kind person who was full of life, and her family remembers her dearly. She had a heart of gold, loved her mom, and loved Selena's music.
Zania Williams, age 21. Zania, a black trans woman, was planning to celebrate her upcoming birthday with a trip to Miami. She was starting college in January of this year, and her dream was to become a lawyer.
Kiana Stone, age 32. Kiana was a much-loved friend and activist from Indianapolis, Indiana. She had recently accepted a job offer to work for a local trans resource center to help advocate her activism for the trans community.
Amelia Furness Leonhardt, age 22. Amelia is survived by many family members and friends. Her authentic presence in this world will remain an inspiration to many in our community.
Nikki Churieta, age 31. Nikki is a transgender woman who loved her family, with whom she spent her last holidays with. She is described by her aunt as a character and a completely free spirit who had traveled across the US and internationally.
Amaray Lage, age 21. Amaray, also known as Mayor, was a bright woman and former student at Woodland Hills, according to her classmates who miss her dearly. She was a dancer her entire life. She shared her passion and gift with her friends, family, and the youth of the Lady Diamonds Dance Squad.
Duval Princess, age 24. Duval was a well-known, involved, and beloved member of the LGBTQ+ community in Jacksonville, Florida. She was also a popular hairstylist who specialized in wigs and weaves. According to her family, she had an outgoing personality and was a little firefly.
Destiny Lachey, age 29. Destiny was the first trans star of a TLC reality TV show. She was very vocal about mental health, and her weight loss journey, documented on reality TV, inspired many people.
Matthew Angelo Spampanato, age 21. Matthew was a barista at a Starbucks in Newcastle, Delaware. Co-workers described him as selfless, kind, and a breath of fresh air. He was also described as very headstrong, but with a smile that could turn a day around.
Naomi Skinner, age 25. Naomi, a black transgender woman, was described by a friend as a very outstanding person, and also by her sister as living a fabulous life. Friends remember Naomi on social media with one writing: "Cherish the ones you love, because one day they here, the next they gone."
Cypress Ramos, age 21. Cypress, a Latina transgender woman, was loved in her local LGBTQ+ community. Her friend said that Cypress supported her drag performances and described a video that Ramos took of one of her performances. Her friend cherishes this video because it was from Cyprus, and she remembers her as her #1 fan.
Paloma Vasquez, age 29. Paloma was a member of an organization for Latina trans women in Texas. She had just moved into her apartment and was very excited about decorating. She is remembered and loved by her community.
Brent Wood, age 31. Brent had an unwavering artistic view of the world around an immediate compassion and love for everyone he met. According to those that knew him, he often would be selling his art to support himself and was actively trying to get off the streets.
Milo Winslow, age 30. Milo was a trans rights advocate in Lincoln, Nebraska. He created many online content during his advocacy. His friend, Sarah Cohen Walker, highlighted Milo's heartfelt online content and his style of presenting in a way that brings people along, to lead with the heart. I think leading with the heart is the hard work that a lot of people don't have patience for.
Catherine Newhouse, age 19. Katie is an Asian American neurodivergent woman, an Illinois native. She had a passion for hiking, sightseeing, and advocating for trans rights. As a young Asian American transgender woman, her passion for advocacy and learning about the world shined as bright as her smile.
Elise Mallory, age 31. Elise was born and raised in Andersonville. She had worked in the Civil Rights Bureau of Attorney General's office. She had also worked with Chicago Therapy Collective, a group that addresses social factors impacting mental health in the trans community. She was hailed as a pillar of Chicago's transgender and queer communities.
Tatiana LaBelle, age 33, also known as TT. She was a Chicago native who was loved by her family and friends. She was a fan of Mariah Carey and Patti LaBelle. The Chicago trans community mourns the loss of TT.
Keisha Webster, age 24. Keisha was incredibly loved by her mother. During her life, she spread messages of hope online. Her mother continues to fight for justice and speaks of the fond memories of her daughter, who had just turned 24.
Kai Khan, age 18. Kai was studying to be an MLT but also wanted to be a nurse. He was attending Barton Community College, where he lived in the college dorms. His friends described Kai as a funny kid and an all-around great person.
Mia Love Parker, age 25. Mia was a bright light in the lives of her friends and a fan of the critically acclaimed series Pose. Her friends say that Mia brought light into every room she entered, and that light was extinguished far too soon.
Ariana Mitchell, age 17. Ariana was a Black transgender girl who was a junior at East End Academy in Newport News, Virginia, and a member of the Triple E Electra Eagles Elite Dance Academy. Her family recalled that she was truly unique, funny, and loved by everyone. There was never a dull moment when Ariana was around.
Fern Feather, age 29. Fern was kind and free-spirited, with a love of animals and birds. She was known to bring joy to everyone around her, and friends remember her as a brilliant wildflower. The stories of love and joy from her friends make it clear that she will be greatly missed, and they will demand justice.
Ace Scott, age 15. Ace grew up in Kansas City, Kansas. They attended 9th grade in various high schools and did well in all subjects. Ace was also known as a leader amongst their friends and was very social. Ace enjoyed music, painting, crafts, dancing, eating sushi, and making others laugh. Ace enjoyed museums, time outdoors, playing the guitar or piano, and making bracelets. Ace cared greatly for their sister, their best friends, and their pet rat, Moon. Ace was passionate about speaking up for others that could not speak up for themselves.
Kenna Leigh Gillock, age 26. Kenna was a transgender man from Gold Hill, Oregon. They were taken from us too soon, and their family and friends, continue to miss them daily.
Asher Garcia, age 14. His aunt and mom spoke about that he was beautifully unique. He was also a typical preteen in some ways. He had a competitive streak and led foot when driving go-karts. He was someone that when he cared deeply. He always looked out for people he loved. He was a happy boy who cared about others.
Ray Muscat, age 24, who worked at a grocery store, was described by coworkers as a kind soul who had a glowing smile.
Ruby Taverner, age 22, was loved by all who knew her, and someone who was sweet, kind, and thoughtful.
Michelle S. Tario, her close friend shared, "Today is sadder. The LGBT New Yorker and our Brazilian Day will not be the same. Rest in peace, my Portuguese friend."
Sasha Mason, age 45, was part of a large, loving family. She was a beloved family member and friend to many. On social media, Sasha's friends and family remember her as a sweet, kind, and generous person with a beautiful smile who cherished her friends and family.
Sequence, age 50, was strong, feisty, opinionated, and loved talking to her many friends on the phone.
Maddie Hoffman, age 47. Maddie was one of 6 siblings with a deep bond with her younger sister Emily, who was also adopted from Korea. Hoffman is survived by a wife and 2 young children with whom she loved very much.
Maddie Dickens, age 28. She was a brilliant physicist, gifted musician, a caring sister and daughter, and a passionate advocate for the vulnerable. She was sweet, kind, smart, funny, passionate, disciplined, determined, brave, and stubborn.
Dee Dee Hall, age 47. Her cousin spoke that Dee Dee was absolutely amazing and was the light of all of our lives.
Shamalika Yella Dior Hemingway, Sid, age 30, was known for her smile as bright as her future. She was a graduate of the University of Albany with a bachelor's degree where she was the recipient of a 2022 Spelman Academic.
Rexy Q, age 26. Rexy was passionate about using data analysis to shift public policy. They were a performer, musician, advocate, and strong force in the state of Kansas, pushing for necessary change.
Paris Rich, age 25. Paris was a young, beautiful trans person with lots of motivation to live life to the fullest. She loved and was very protective of her family and close friends. Paris was a very independent woman and had dreams of being a stylist to the stars one day.
Brazil Johnson, age 28. Brazil's mother, Bernita Gildor, said her daughter was a passionate chef and that the kitchen was like having a haven for her.
Charmaine McClam, age 27. She worked as a personal care assistant and as a certified nursing assistant for almost 4 years. On social media, her family and friends remember her as a loving, fun, kind, and genuine person.
Kitty Monroe, a Black trans woman, was a beloved friend and loving mom to her 4 small dogs named China, Milan, Tokyo, and London, whom she posted countless photos of on social media.
Cherry Bush, age 48. On social media, her brother called her his oldest friend.
Jasper Aaron Lynch, age 26. One of his college mentors stated that his value of authentic human connection is remembered by both friends and teachers. One teacher said Aaron was the single most powerful reason that I know I want to continue teaching, and his wit and ability to turn any moment into hilarity was a gift.
Jimmy J. Lee, age 20. Classmate of Lee spoke that Jay was a sweet individual and was always outgoing, who was loved by everyone.
Martasia Richmond, age 30. With tears, her father spoke that his daughter was delightful and was going to be missed forever.
Toy Davis, age 34. Toy was a member of a trans organization called Sisters Helping Each Other Battle Adversity and recently shared her story, its Facebook page. She wrote that she felt her path was ordained by God and noted, "My transition has saved my life." She was well loved by family and friends.
Keisha Chanel Getter, age 26. Keisha Chanel Getter lived her truth as a Black transgender woman. She embraced those she loved and was full of life.
Hayden Neva Davis, age 28. Her interests were wide-ranging, from fashion and the Kardashians to skincare and makeup. Her smile was bright and she had an active presence on social media.
Camilla Marie Swan, age 29, also known as Dee Dee and Candy Red, was loved by all that knew her. In 2014, she was honored as the Black T-Girls Model of the Year at the Transgender Erotica Awards.
Maricela Castro, age 39. According to her friend Jorge Luis Lizardo, she was a bright and sunny person who had never made enemies.
Kimbella Kimball, age 21, was loved by all her family, friends, and those who had the chance to know her.
ACD Morrison, age 30. Two-spirited person, was a kind-hearted, down-to-earth, joyous, respectful, and loving soul, who was a helpful and giving person who was always there for her family and friends.
Dee Dee Ricks, age 33. Dee Dee was a Black transgender woman from Detroit, Michigan. Her absence is felt by her community and everyone that knew her. May her memory continue to be remembered.
Regina Allen, age 35. Regina was known to her friends as Maya. She was full of joy and laughter, a sister and an inspiration in her community. She was less than a month away from celebrating her 36th birthday. She was a member of Sheba, Sisters Helping Each Other Out, Battle Adversity, an advocacy, empowerment, and support group for Black transgender women dedicated to leadership development, healthcare promotion, self-care, resources, education, advocacy, and more.
Samaj Sincere Billingslia, age 33. Samaj was a Black transgender man who graduated from Florida Youth Academy before attending Florida State College at Jacksonville. He was a fan of Megan Thee Stallion and cared deeply about all of his friends.
Serena Bringman, age 16. Serena is remembered by her classmates as quirky, fun, stylish, and sweet. Her partner also described her as elegant, soft, and beautiful, and expressed a wish that others had been able to see her the same. She really wanted to be like a princess.
Tiffany Banks, age 25. Friends and family remember her as a sociable and beautiful butterfly. When she came around, they say there was never a dull moment. They say she loved to sing and dance.
Trans lives matter. Say their names.
When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine.
Testing. There we go. I am a storyteller. So I'm going to ask you first and foremost to be nice to me about my singing. Laugh. Great. See, that's what you do. Okay. So I'm going to take on a little bit of a journey and some songs that are important to me, maybe one or two. And this first one is by one of my favorite artists. Her name is Simone. And yeah, I just want to bring these four voices and these spirits here. My skin is black, my arms are long, my hair is woolly, and my back is strong enough to take the pain, inflicted again and again. So what do they call me? My name is Aunt Sarah, yeah. Aunt Sarah. My skin is yellow, my hair is long, between two worlds, I do belong. My father was rich and white, he forced my mother late one night. So what do they call me? My name's Saffronia. My skin is tan, my hair is fine, my hips entice you, daddy, my mouth like wine, but whose little girl am I? Anyone who has money to buy. So what do they call me? My name is Sweet Thing. Sweet Thing. I sing that song because of all of the women that I know that have been voiceless in my life. All of my cousins who are still trying to find their way, all of my sisters who are still trying to figure a lot of things out, and all of the people that I project my own desires, my own not havings, my own things that haven't worked out onto. And I sing that song to give them voice. I sing that song to make sure that we see our sisters in their struggle. So my hope is that you'll take that song with you. You'll go listen to it. Listen to the last verse, because that one will really fuck you up. And you just let them know you see them and you're ready for them whenever they're ready for you. Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So she's flying by the seat of her pants, by the way. She just got here. She is me. And the next one that I'm going to do is the first song that came to mind because I sing it every day in my apartment. I don't know what it means to me yet. Do you ever have a song you listen to for like weeks on end, and then you come to find out, oh, I was going through some shit. Still waiting to figure it out, so we'll see. and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. Yeah. Oh. And the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he is satisfied is when he's on the drum. Yeah. Oh. Now there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been a ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I am one.
Get